Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Back in Philadelphia, Donovan McNabb introduced to the crowd moments ago, getting set to begin his 10th season as an Eagle. He has led Philadelphia to 4 NFC Championship games, 1 Super Bowl. The Rams won the toss, but have elected to defer.
It'll be interesting to see how many visiting teams that had the option to start the game deferred to the second half. You're on the road. This crowd is going to be hyped. You don't want your offense out there early. Send your defense out there. Try and get a 3-and-out, slow that offense down, establish field position early. So I think it'll be interesting. We finish up today. How many visiting teams deferred if they won the toss?
One of the rule changes in the NFL during the offseason. The opening kickoff bounces into the end zone for a touchback. So McNabb and the Eagles will start from their own 20-yard line.
Well, a little bit of good luck right there for the St. Louis Rams to start off. That ball bounces 6 more inches to the left, and they've got some great starting field position for the Eagles. Goes into the end zone. We're at the 20.
So the Eagles will have the football first. Rams will receive the second half kickoff as they elected to defer following the coin toss. So Donovan McNabb and the Eagles 8-8 last season without starting wide receivers Kevin Curtis and Reggie Brown. On 1st and 10, the slant is incomplete, intended for the rookie out of Cal, second-round draft pick Deshaun Jackson.
And they are going to be up on Deshaun Jackson at the line of scrimmage, a little bit undersized. They're going to challenge his release all afternoon.
Chris Long, the first-round pick out of Virginia, starting at right defensive end.
A lot of speed in that linebacking core for the St. Louis Rams.
And Ron Bartell starting for Fakir Brown at right corner. 2nd and 10 from the 20-yard line. Opening drive of the season for the Eagles as McNabb's pass is caught by Jackson. His first NFL reception takes it all the way down to the Rams' 33-yard line. A 47-yard pass play.
Well, he sure didn't play like a rookie on that play. Has his eyes back on the ball. Does not tip his hand to the coverage man that the ball is coming in until the last second, goes up and makes the catch.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the bench. An official contacted a member of the coaching staff or player. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Working against Ty Hill on the outside. Ty Hill is in good position. Deshaun Jackson just does a tremendous job right at the point of the catch. That's good coverage. It's a throw right into the middle of both players, and Deshaun Jackson comes down with it.
That's going to do a lot for Deshaun Jackson and Donovan McNabb's confidence in both of those guys are working together.
And then somebody on the Rams sideline made contact with an official, so a 47-yard pass play, 15-yard penalty, 1st and 10 from the Rams 18. McNabb fires, and the catch is made for a first down by the tight end, L.J. Smith.
We talked about Donovan McNabb being healthy coming into the season. Let's not forget about L.J. Smith, too. Here's somebody who battled a sports hernia, groin injuries, just about everything last season, has come into this year in 08 healthy and looking for a breakout season.
Smith played in only 10 games last season. 3 wide receivers for the Eagles. 1st and goal from the 8. Empty backfield, McNabb from the shotgun. To the outside for Jackson. But he is tackled immediately by Ty Hill. Loses a yard on the play. One of the other new rules in the NFL this season, you see the green dot on the back of Corey Chavis's helmet. He is wearing the coach to defensive player speaker in his helmet.
And I think the St. Louis Rams have a very unique way of handling this. Jim Haslett, the defensive coordinator, will signal in the signals by hand the old-fashioned way. and they will use the coordination of the defensive communication device with a safety, which is unusual. Usually you see teams using their middle linebacker for that.
Inside handoff, and Terrell Buckwalter takes it all the way down to the 1-yard line.
You know, I had a chance to talk with Will Witherspoon. You talk about, you know, middle linebackers having the communication. He doesn't like it at all, Moose. I mean, he doesn't like somebody talking in his ear when he's trying to relay the information to his defensive line and defensive backs. That's why they chose not to use him as a communications guy. Goose
Witherspoon tested it out during the preseason, but the Rams electing to go with the safety, Corey Chavis. 3rd and goal. Westbrook and Hunt, the split backs. McNabb, shovel pass. Westbrook, touchdown.
So much for deferring the kick, Goose.
Yeah, that didn't work too good, huh? Your defense got to get a lot more fired up for that. I mean, that was marching right down the field.
The big play, 47 yards from McNabb to the rookie Deshaun Jackson on the second play from scrimmage. David Akers adds the extra point. It takes the Eagles under 3 minutes. They score on the opening drive of the season. Downfield on their opening drive and lead 7-0. Dante Hall, the longtime Kansas City Chief, his second season as a Ram, back deep to receive Akers' kickoff. He takes it out the 1. Good coverage downfield by the Eagles on special teams, and Hall is stopped shy of the 20-yard line.
Well, we had the big play by Deshaun Jackson on the outside. Look up at the top of your screen to Torrey Holt, number 81. He's on the field. There's the collision right there with the official. So one of your older guys on the team, veteran guy, kind of gets caught, so you get 15 more yards after that. And what I liked about this play, Donovan McNabb audibles, watch him break right here. So immediately I'm thinking pass, split backs. You see the adjustment by the defense. They come back, sneak that little shovel pass inside for the touchdown.
So the Eagles strike first. Rams go to work from their own 19-yard line. Steven Jackson, the lone back, takes the handoff from Mark Bulger, his first handoff in a game to Jackson, who held out, did not play in a preseason game. As we take a look at the Rams offensive line, Orlando Pace injured in the first half of game 1 last season.
And you know, listen to the Rams talk. It wasn't just the fact that they lost Orlando Pace for the year, but you know, Scott Linehan said like the whole team just deflated. They got the news later in that game, and he said emotionally they just went flat. And it sounds like they just really struggled to get out of that hole all season long.
Rams spread the field on 2nd and 4. This is Jackson. And Jackson picks up a first down out to the 30, gain of 5.
I'm excited to see what Steven Jackson does in this offense that the St. Louis Rams are going to be running, because it's going to be kind of modeled off of what we saw Priest Holmes do in Kansas City with Al Saunders coming over. It'll be fun to see, but this defense, he's going to get a great test today. And this group of linebackers by Philadelphia, young, they can run, they're big. So he'll get a good test, his first game of the season, his first action of the year.
St. Louis first team timeout.
Bulger calls timeout. Rams with a 1st and 10 from their own 30 when we come back, trailing the Eagles by 7. First and 10 for the Rams following the timeout. Bulger with time over the middle, nearly intercepted. Asante Samuel signed a big contract coming over from New England, making his Eagles debut.
Well, it's going to be tough to throw on this Eagles defense all season long. Asante Samuel, Sheldon Brown, Lito Shepherd, they're very deep at the corner. And this is the one thing that we have to see about Mark Bulger. Last year, he was under so much duress during the course of the season because of those injuries in his offensive line. Can he automatically come back and trust this new group this season?
2nd and 10 from the 30. Bulger over the top, and the catch is made by the tight end, the former Dolphin Randy McMichael, for a Rams first down, brought down by Quentin Michael after an 18-yard pickup.
I think that Randy McMichael becomes as important as anybody in this offense. We talked about Al Saunders and the scheme that he brings, and go back to Kansas City again. Steven Jackson as Priest Holmes. Randy McMichael as Tony Gonzalez. The tight end will have to be a big producer in this offense.
First and 10 from the 48. Jackson looks to cut to the outside. Bottled up. Short gain. Stuart Bradley made the tackle as we check in with Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles. Kurt?
Well, Kenny, how's this for a start to your NFL career? Falcon rookie Matt Ryan's first NFL pass taken in for a 62-yard touchdown by Michael Jenkins. Just like that, the celebration's on in Atlanta. They're up early, 7-0. Back to Kenny, Moose and Goose.
Well, so much for getting those secondary problems in Detroit sorted out.
Nice start for Matt Ryan and the Falcons. 7-0 Eagles here in Philadelphia. 2nd down and 9. Bulger gets rid of it quickly. And the catch is made by Drew Bennett. He's brought down at the 47-yard line by Omar Gaither, and Bennett is shaken up.
He has just not been able to stay healthy since he came to the St. Louis Rams from the Tennessee Titans. He battled it all last season. He's battled it this entire preseason. And you can tell by his reaction right there that this is not good. This is not a one-week injury.
Bennett had groin problems during the preseason. We'll be back. Rams receiver Drew Bennett injured on the last play.
Yeah, you know, he signed a big free agent contract, and it's really frustrating to me when I read, you know, stories coming out of cities where this guy hasn't lived up to that contract. Drew Bennett can't stay healthy for whatever reason. There's nobody that wants to be on the field more than Drew Bennett.
Bulger taken down on 3rd and 5. Mike Patterson along with Darren Howard combining to sack Bulger back at the 43.
This is exactly what Jim Johnston, the defensive coordinator from the Eagles, wants to do. He's got 8 men on the line of scrimmage. You can't block it. He wants to get in Mark Bulger's face to go and make him not feel comfortable in that pocket. He said he was going to do it early in the game. You're going to see a lot more of this right here.
Bennett carted off. Donnie Jones back at his own 30. Deshaun Jackson back deep for the Eagles. Backpedaling, taken at the 10 by Jackson. And Jackson is brought down at the 18-yard line by Ron Bartell. 46-yard punt, 8 on the return. Good job by the Eagles defense.
Let's take a look at that sack. You've got Stuart Bradley and Quentin Michael walked right up in the A-gaps. Now they're going to try and turn this. You want to turn it, block everybody back, but watch the confusion on the offensive right side between Alex Barron and Randy McMichael. They're not sure what to do, so now you've got Jim Johnston inside your quarterback's head. He doesn't even know if they're going to get the protection right.
Westbrook out to the 21-yard line, gain of 3. Chris Long made the tackle. The Rams won the coin toss. They elected to defer, and the Eagles drove downfield, 6 plays, 80 yards, and scored on their opening possession.
Looked very good, very good. And the thing about Philadelphia, they come out, they take some shots down the field, hit the big play, get down into the red zone. A good tough run inside the 10-yard line by Correll Buckhalter. So this offense showing that they're very versatile, can hurt you in a number of ways.
On 2nd and 7, McNabb faked the end around, looked to set up the screen, but it did not fool the Rams. Quentin Culberson made the tackle. Good start, Kurt Menefee, for Brett Favre in a New York Jets uniform.
Very good start. His second possession of the regular season as a Jet. Favre finds a wide open Jericho Cotchery for 56 yards. It's easy to score when it's like that, right? Hey, the celebration looks familiar, except it's in a Jets uniform. They're up by a touchdown over the Fed. Kenny Moose and Goose.
At least he's still wearing green.
The guy's amazing. I mean, he's absolutely amazing.
Gets over the Dolphins, 7-0. McNabb from the shotgun on 3rd down and 7. And the pass is caught by Jason Avant for an Eagles first down. Ron Bartell made the tackle. There's a flag at the 33-yard line.
Holding. Number 25, defense. The penalty will be declined. Result of the play, first down.
We asked Andy Reid on Friday, you know, are you have any concerns about your wide receiver position? He said no. Jason Avant in the slot, number 81. One of the reasons why he doesn't have concerns is, now Jason's not a breakaway pure speed guy, but he said he's outstanding at getting in and out of his breaks. He creates his separation with his quickness.
Westbrook. Ryan Westbrook out to the 35 before he was met by O.J. Atogwe. Gain of 5 for the two-time Pro Bowl back.
Happy coming into the season, too. Donovan McNabb healthy. Brian Westbrook happy. Got a nice contract extension. The offensive line, Sean Andrews a little bit late coming in. He's here, played well in the preseason when he got on the field, ready to go in the opener today. So really everything pointing in a positive direction for the Philadelphia Eagles. We had him in the opener last year. That was not the case week 1.
On 2nd and 5, Westbrook. And Brian Westbrook is close to an Eagles first down. Andy Reid told us we're healthy. We feel like we have a shot. Last year, we had 5 key guys coming off surgery, including Donovan McNabb.
And it's in your head. You know, it's a distraction. And you wonder what's going to happen. And you go out in that opening game and you start to see some of the reasons why you had some hesitancy about how the season was going to start. And, you know, we talked about it in our group, you know, all through the season. And that Philadelphia-Green Bay to start that game off, they drop a couple of punts. They end up losing a game they probably should have won. Green Bay takes off. Philadelphia kind of spirals downhill a little bit in the beginning of the season. Doesn't really have a lot of confidence. Doesn't hit their stride until late in the year. So it's so important to get off to a good start the opening week of the NFL and the opening month. I've always said you don't win a championship in September, but you sure can cost yourself the opportunity to compete for one.
The Eagles had no business winning that or losing that game last year, opening week, but for those 2 special teams plays.
And they addressed that in the offseason. So they knew it was a weakness. Now they've made it a strength.
1st and 10 from the 40. The toss. And Buckhalter is bottled up, loses a couple.
Nice play by Pizzatino Isamoa.
You know, talking about special teams, talking to Andy Reid, you know, they work on that every day in camp. You know, not just like offense, just like defense. I mean, he realized last year all the games he lost because of special teams, and going and bringing in 2, new returners, Deshaun Jackson and Quentin Demps. I mean, trying to solidify that area also.
2 rookies, Goose, who both return kicks for touchdowns during the preseason.
Yeah, but still, that regular season comes around. You're just like, listen, hold on to the ball, don't turn it over, and then we'll worry about getting yards.
McNabb escapes on 2nd and 12. He fires short. Wow, L.J. Smith able to come back and make the catch.
I don't think he's physically able to make that catch at any point last season because he's just not healthy enough to bend and move this quickly. Here's a perfect example of what a year can do. Donovan McNabb, a little shuffle in the pocket. Can he do that last year? L.J. Smith, able to move down, pull that ball off the turf. Can he do that last year because of health?
Initially signaled a catch, Daryl, but then the officials got together and it is correctly ruled an incompletion.
Yeah, you saw it hit the ground on the replay.
It was a good try, though.
And a good call by the officials. 3rd down and 12. Eagles must get to midfield for a first down. 3 wide receivers. McNabb, complete. First down and more. Jason Avant to the Rams 31.
That just looked like a busted coverage to me from down here, Moose.
Hey, Goose, there's nothing worse when you have a big play and all of a sudden you see like 3 or 4 guys on the defense start looking at each other. I mean, the safety, the corner, and the linebacker all stare at each other after this play. Quentin Culberson Corey Chavis, they're all trying to figure out who's supposed to be covering Jason Avant down the seam.
So much talk about the Eagles wide receiver position coming into this game, but Jackson with a 47-yard reception on the first drive, and Avant with 2 big catches this possession. L.J. Smith spins down to the 24-yard line, gain of 7, before he was brought down by Otagwe.
Sometimes we get so enamored with speed as fans watching the NFL that we think that that has to be the big characteristic that a wide receiver has to possess. All these guys are fast, but a Jason Avant is going to use his quickness in and out of his routes, his understanding of the subtleties of the offense. This is his 3rd year in this system on how to get open. He doesn't have the breakaway speed. He's not going to go 80 yards on you, but he sure can work you at all the different levels.
3 receivers, 2nd down and 3. Westbrook, first down, inside the 15, the 10, forces his way inside the 5-yard line before he was finally brought down by O.J. Otagwe.
He is so scary when he gets the ball in his hand.
You know, we got the communication between Donovan and Westbrook down here. I mean, they do such a great job. You can't see it in this shot, but if you watch Donovan right here, he goes and taps his button, gives an opposite direction. Right there, you see it right there in that area. That's communication between a running back. It's loud here. That's the reason they probably went opposite or something like that, and that's why they had that beautiful run.
McNabb, end zone, touchdown. L.J. Smith.
Well, for all those people who are wondering if Donovan McNabb is healthy, I think they're getting a pretty good explanation in this game.
2 touchdown passes for McNabb in the first quarter. Akers adding the extra point. 2 possessions for the Eagles, 2 touchdowns. L.J. Smith, one of the many Eagles not healthy at the end of last season. 3 catches in his first quarter for Smith, and the Eagles are out to a 14-0 lead.
And both of those scoring drives, you know, really key by big plays by the question mark coming into the opener. Well, how is Deshaun Jackson and Jason Avant going to do with Reggie Brown and Kevin Curtis out of the lineup? They're doing pretty good to start.
Akers kicked off 5 yards deep. Hall takes a knee. Rams will start from their own 20.
Well, that first big play by Deshaun Jackson was a great catch. Here we've got a blitzer coming off the edge. Now, I don't know what goes on here with coverage. The safety should drop down and have Jason Avant. He immediately turns outside. That leaves Jason Avant wide open. I don't think you can ask Tino Isamoa to come make that coverage. And then again, you've got Deshaun Jackson crossing Will Witherspoon's face. He bites up on that. Opens up a little bit of a throwing lane for Donovan McNabb to find L.J. Smith.
1st and 10 for the Rams. From their own 20, 3 wide receivers. Bulger hands it off to Steven Jackson. Jackson up the middle for 3 before he's forced back by Stuart Bradley as we head to Los Angeles and Kurt.
Kenny, a scary moment going on in New England. Keep your eye on Tom Brady's left knee. Bernard Pollard, the safety for the Chiefs, hits it. Looks like it's by accident with his helmet. But nonetheless, Brady has left the game with a knee injury. We will update you as soon as we get any information on his condition. Kenny?
All right, thanks, Kurt. Rams lost wide receiver Drew Bennett. He has gone in for x-rays on his left foot. Bulger can't find anyone and then throws it away.
Oh, he's got somebody coming free again. Trevor Law, number 93, is going to get there. But He gets pulled down by Richie Incognito, gets away with a holding penalty. Mark Bulger, you know, as much as they emphasized working on this group and shoring everything up, he cannot be all that confident right now. There you see Trevor Laws coming clean until he's pulled down.
13 different offensive linemen started a game for the Rams last season. 3rd down and 6. Rams have to get to the 30 for a first. And that pass nearly picked off. Samuel got a piece of it, and then Considine had a chance.
They are chasing right now. They're just chasing a jam off the line of scrimmage on Dane Looker. Keenan Burton coming across the inside. Asante Samuel gets a hand on it, almost gets a turnover. Good hustle by Sean Considine, almost pulls it up off the turf. I tell you, the St. Louis Rams need to get Steven Jackson involved in this game right now because they can't protect Mark Bulger, and the last thing they can do down 14 is have 3 and outs.
Deshaun Jackson cuts to his left. Jackson brought down at the 37, a 52-yard punt by Jones, 12 on the return. 14-0 Eagles here in Philadelphia. Coming up, second game of our Fox doubleheader. Many of you will see the Dallas Cowboys and the Cleveland Browns. Eagles have scored touchdowns on their first 2 drives that started on their own 20 and 18.
And that's impressive right there. The opening game of the season, and what that shows you is this team is not beating themselves. They are not making mistakes with penalties, missed assignments, to have drives of that length.
Best starting field position for the Eagles. Their own 37 as the pass is caught by the fullback, Tony Hunt. He gains a yard before he was tackled by Ron Bartell, the right corner.
Interesting to see what will happen with Tony Hunt this year. I mean, he's a halfback, had a great college career at Penn State. They get caught up in that numbers game. They move him to fullback. He's not an overly big guy, very dynamic in his running ability at the fullback position. Well, it'll be interesting to see how Marty Morningweg incorporates him into the offense this season.
Second all-time leading rusher at Penn State. 2nd and 8, Westbrook out across the 40 to the 41-yard line. James Hall made the tackle, and that will take us to the end of the first quarter. And what a quarter it was for the Eagles. After the Rams won the coin toss, they elected to defer. Eagles score touchdowns on their first 2 possessions, lead the Rams 14-0. Eagles lead the Rams 14-0 as we start the second quarter in Philadelphia. 3rd down and 6 for Donovan McNabb and the Eagles. McNabb with 2 touchdown passes in the first quarter. And that pass just out of the reach of the rookie from Cal, Deshaun Jackson. Well, Daryl, the Eagles and their fans could not have asked for a much better start than we saw in quarter number 1.
Well, they've really got one question mark coming into the opener this season, and that's Kevin Curtis is out. Reggie Brown is going to be out. What are we going to do at wide receiver? Deshaun Jackson, Jason Avant really kind of calming those fears. You know, key in their 2 scoring drive to start this game. So the Philadelphia Eagles, they look like they're in midseason form already.
Penalty marker on the punt. Sav Rocca punting for the first time. Dante Hall lets it go, and it bounces into the end zone. Pete Morelli, our referee.
Illegal formation. Philadelphia, not enough men on the line of scrimmage. The 5-yard penalty will be added at the touchback spot, the 20-yard line. First down, St. Louis.
So the Rams looking to get something going on offense. Will start from their own 25. Beautiful afternoon in Philadelphia following storms yesterday. Eagles out to a 14-0 lead. 1st and 10, Rams from their own 25. Bulger's pass is caught by the tight end McMichael. for a gain of 8 out to the 33. Well, the Rams players wearing patches in memory of their longtime owner, Georgia Frontieri, who passed away this past January. So the Rams honoring her memory with patches on their left shoulder.
And a couple of key people lost this offseason. Gene Upshaw, the GU, the other patch being worn by the Rams in every NFL team. And you'll see the sign on the field also. The executive director of the National Football League Players Association, and really the players today really reaping the benefits and a lot of the changes that Gene Upshaw has been instrumental in orchestrating into the NFL since 1993.
All NFL players will wear the Upshaw uniform patch for the entire season. Dante Hall picked up the first down on the last play. First and 10 Rams from their own 31. The end around to Hall, but it does not fool Darren Howard.
The trick plays really don't work with this Eagles defense, as much pressure as they push on.
That one just doesn't really look good from the start, Tony.
Not at all.
I mean, he's out wide. You've got a fullback on him that's responsible for chopping him. And
there's 3 linemen out there, too. I mean, no one grabbed them.
They could put a big line through that one, and that one doesn't come back into the play call sheet till maybe early November.
Loss of 4 on the play. Second down and 14. Bulger complete. McMichael. So Randy McMichael, who caught a career low 39 passes last season, already with 3 receptions today, picks up 15 and a Rams first down.
Well, I don't think that's going to be the case this year. You see they've got him flexed out one-on-one with Quentin Michael. That's a heck of a throw by Mark Bulger right there, because again, that's good coverage by Quentin Michael, but Randy McMichael could play a huge role in this offense. Drew Bennett is down. They've got Torrey Holt as a wide receiver, but when you don't have strength at a certain position, this system compensates for that by giving opportunities to another area. So Randy McMichael in the passing game will become a key figure.
Number 68 offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's the right guard incognito.
Not any longer.
Randy McMichael, a big body, had some terrific years with the Miami Dolphins. Torrey Holt without a catch so far today. And the Rams, of course, for the first time since moving to St. Louis in 1995, are without Isaac Bruce, who is now a San Francisco 49er.
Another reason Randy McMichael needs to be a key fixture in this offense this season.
First and 15. Jackson to the 45. Omar Gaither brought him down as we check in once again with Kurt Menefee. Kurt?
Well, Tom Brady out of the game with a knee injury, so Matt Castle comes in, but he knows what to do. Find Randy Moss alone in the end zone. Moss, 5 catches, 111 yards, and a touchdown early in the second quarter. Patriots on top of Kansas City. Kitty Moose and Goose?
A rare regular season appearance for Matt Castle.
A lot of preseason passes thrown by Matt Castle.
Castle for the injured Brady, hitting Moss for a touchdown. Second down and 11. More flags.
Ball start. Number 63 offense. 5-yard penalty still. Second down.
That's the left guard, Jacob Bell, the former Tennessee Titan.
Well, they are not making it any easier on themselves, the St. Louis Rams. I mean, they are starting out in terrible shape on these drives. You know, the reverse puts them in 2nd and 14. A couple of penalties now. Sitting at, what are we at now, Kenny? 2nd and 17.
You know, down here on the field, it was just really flat. The Rams sideline, their huddle. I mean, no spark whatsoever. Talk about momentum. Mark Bulger right here is going to take a timeout.
Second timeout taken by Bulger and the Rams in his first half. Imagine the impossibilities this Tuesday at 8, 7 Central when the television event of the season comes to Fox. Don't miss the series premiere of Fringe, presented with limited commercial interruption. J.J. Abrams, the co-creator of Lost, and the writers of the Transformers have built an all-new world of intrigue and adventure that will blow your mind. The series premiere Tuesday at 8, 7 Central, right here on Fox. Second down and 16. Bulger's pass is behind the fullback Dan Kreider, who spent the last 8 years as a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Goose, you're down there on the field. I mean, there is just no sense of urgency watching it from up here in the booth.
I mean, I'll tell you what, it's flat down here. The Rams have no excitement, nothing going on with them. I mean, their sideline, I'm watching that, they're dead. Their huddles, they're coming out of their huddles not fast, not breaking it crisp like the Eagles are doing. I mean, completely different from watching the Eagles on offense and the Rams on offense.
And this is the first half of game 1. Third down and 16. Bulger dropped by Jackson.
That play wasn't going anywhere anyways, even if Steven Jackson does catch it. Mike Patterson sniffed out that screen very quickly, had left his pass rush lane and was coming out to make a play out in the flat anyways.
Yeah, the screens haven't been working for neither of these two teams. That's what happens when you have a lot of speed on defense.
So Donnie Jones will punt for the third time today from his own 30. Jackson lets it bounce, and it takes a Rams roll inside the 10. It is down by Jonathan Wade at the 9. 50 yards on the punt and roll. $14-0 lead for the Eagles. You had a look at secondary coach Ron Milas of the Rams, who calls in the defensive signals to Corey Chavis. Donovan McNabb receiving the signals in his helmet from offensive coordinator Marty Morningway. Long field for the Eagles. They start at their own 9. McNabb going deep for Greg Lewis. Lewis makes the catch in Rams territory. A 51-yard pass play.
They are just getting people behind the Rams coverage. Again, Ty Hill, the one with Deshaun Jackson, he's in great position, just doesn't make a play at the point of the catch. This time he's trailing from the get-go. Greg Lewis just completely behind him.
Nice job by that offensive line, too, giving him a lot of time in that pocket to go and work his magic.
Officially 52 yards. It matches the longest career reception for Lewis.
The first team timeout.
Timeout called by the Eagles. They lead 14-0. A number of big plays today.
Greg Lewis at the bottom of the screen here. He's just going to run to the inside. Ty Hill thinks he's going to break out to the corner, and he jumps it. And Greg Lewis takes it up the field. So you're out on that island, you guess wrong, you give up a big play.
McNabb going deep again. He was looking for Deshaun Jackson, who wanted a flag. Fakir Brown on the coverage.
It was close on that flag. I mean, it could have went either way from what I'm looking at.
I'll tell you, the big reason why, Tony, he never got his head turned around. He's got that arm out there, but Fakir Brown never really looked back to find the ball.
Now 2nd and 10, Deshaun Jackson in the backfield. Now Jackson in motion. McNabb to Avant. Avant brought down at the 34-yard line by Ron Bartell after picking up 5 yards.
This is a crucial stop. The Rams defense needs to go and do something right here. If they go in down 3 touchdowns. I mean, it's going to totally fall apart, I think, on the sideline just looking at this group.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons they got to stop giving up these huge chunks of yards in the passing game.
Now they've already thrown for 170 yards, 2 touchdowns. 3rd down and 5 as McNabb swings it out to Westbrook, but he's brought down at the 39-yard line by Ron Bartell. A loss of 5 yards on the play. So the Eagles send out the punting unit. Dante Hall back deep. Rocker able to handle the snap.
Well done. Well done.
Terrific job to keep it out of the end zone.
Not just a good return, man. Quentin Demps down there does it textbook. I mean, he gets down, gets squared, turned around, the ball bounces over his head, gets up, gets the ball back into the field of play. Just an excellent job of putting the St. Louis Rams in a deep hole.
Demps, a rookie playing in his first NFL game, and the rule is different in the NFL than in college. Demps well aware.
That's I mean, you can't do that any better. You get down, you turn around, you find the flight of the ball. He gets the bad hop over his head, but still doesn't lose his composure and executes it as well as you could.
So Mark Bulger and the Rams start from their own 2-yard line. Steven Jackson taking it out of the end zone. Brings it out to the 9 before he was tackled by Quentin Michael. Gain of 7 on the play.
You know, we talk about getting the ball into playmakers' hands. Torrey Holt and Steven Jackson, I mean, they've been pretty silent this whole game. You know, then a few runs by Steven Jackson, but you know, he approached the camp late. He has fresh legs. That's all you hear about. They're not getting him the ball enough, I think.
Only 6 carries so far for Jackson. No receptions, Goose, for Torrey Holt. 2nd down and 3. Jackson again. Jackson ran into Bunkley. And then on the second effort, takes it up to the 12, close to a Rams first down. You know, you talk about hidden yardage and field position. If Demps did not make that spectacular play, Rams would have started at their own 20, but instead they were forced back to their own 2-yard line.
And it completely changes the mindset of your play caller. Al Saunders in this situation, you know, down 14, he wants to be a little bit aggressive to get his team some momentum back, but very difficult when you're pinned back inside your 10-yard line to start a drive.
3rd down and 1. Jackson, and he was caught from behind by Trent Cole.
Well, you got to know your personnel. You got to know who you're playing against.
I mean, I just thought that was just a horrible call. Right here, you have one guy split out all the way over here. You can't even see him. Everybody knows it's going to be a run. Your fullback right there gets hit. Everybody's coming. I mean, you don't even give them the idea of a possibility of a pass. They put 9 guys in the box. You're not going to go and get that yard against this defense with that much pressure.
Jones just able to get it off. Terrific punt. Jackson heading the wrong way. Now tries to turn it upfield. Gets some of the yardage back. Tackled at the 43-yard line by Todd Johnston.
Might have been able to do that in college, but you can't do that in the NFL. You can't give ground and try to make a big one.
You ain't the only 4-4 out there in this field, I'll tell you that.
But in any event, terrific field position for Donovan McNabb and the Eagles. McNabb off to a great start.
Well, it's big plays in the passing game, too. The one concern that a lot of people in Philadelphia had, or Eagles fans had, but when we talked to everybody at the NovaCare Complex on Friday, Andy Reid, everybody on this offense, not really as worried as their fan base was. They had complete confidence that Jason Avant, Deshaun Jackson, Hank Baskett, Greg Lewis, those guys were going to be able to step up, take advantage of the opportunity. They've got Brian Westbrook, who just challenges the defense in so many different ways with his versatility. They were very confident that they would be fine.
First and 10 from the 43. McNabb fires. First down in Rams territory at the 43-yard line. It's a gain of 14 for Greg Lewis. And in speaking with McNabb, he said people question our depth at the wide receiver position, but McNabb said offensive weapons doesn't mean only at wide receiver. We have Brian Westbrook, we have L.J. Smith, we have a number of other guys who are not wide receivers who are great weapons on offense.
And you know, you're still waiting for Lorenzo Booker. I think there's another person that's a part of this team, and Kevin Curtis coming out. That's one of the reasons these guys are getting their opportunities. But we haven't even seen Lorenzo Booker in yet in the dimension that he has.
There's Booker.
Until now.
His first carry. As we approach 5 minutes remaining, first half, we check in with Kurt Menefee. Kurt?
Well, guys, the Jets lost their kicker, Mike Nugent, with a leg injury, so they have to go forward on 4th down against the Dolphins. Brett Favre looks like Brett Favre. Keeps it alive, finds Chancey Stuckey for the 22-yard score. They have to go for 2 because they don't have a kicker. They miss it, but they still have a 13-7 lead over Miami. Kenny, Moose, and Goose.
Kurt, I thought you were going to show us that Brett Favre was going to line up and kick the extra point.
He probably could. He probably could do it.
If anyone could, it's Brett. 2nd and 10. McNabb's pass incomplete. Off the hands of L.J. Smith.
Who was your backup kicker there, Moose, when you guys were playing?
Actually, I was from time to time.
Would you have the old high school square toe out?
I had a square toe, absolutely. Absolutely. And actually, Jimmy Johnston gave me one chance in training camp to kick off, to see if I could just do the kickoffs, because we were struggling. We had a good field goal kicker, but we lost a little distance on the kickoffs, and Tony, I shanked it so bad.
Did you?
Oh, it was out of bounds before I think it got to the 50.
You lost all confidence in you.
He didn't have much to begin with, but what was there was evaporated very quickly.
They may want to take a look at you in New York. 3rd down and 10. And McNabb, that time looking for Lewis. Savraka and the punt's unit back out.
You know, Tony, I'm starting to get an uneasy feeling about the Eagles. One of the things that I've seen from them over the years, you know, they get out to these real big leads. They're a quick strike team, and then they let somebody hang around there for a while. You know, they had a couple of big plays on the last drive. They get good field position on this drive, but they're not getting any points. They're letting the Rams stay in this game when they shouldn't be here right now.
You saw it in the kickoff game, the Giants against Washington, too. First half, both of those teams looked okay, and then they just seem to be fading out.
Goose Quinton Dempsey again for the 2nd straight time, keeps the ball out of the end zone of the Rams. Once again will start from their own 2-yard line. Coming up, following the Eagles and the Rams, it's game 2 of our Fox doubleheader. Many of you will see the Dallas Cowboys and the Cleveland Browns.
We all know the big playmakers for the Dallas Cowboys: T.O., Tony Romo, Jason Witten. I tell you what, Cleveland's got a pretty good group of offensive playmakers of their own. Derek Anderson, Braylon Edwards, Helen Winslow Jr., Jamal Lewis in the backfield to match Marion Barber. That's going to be a heck of a football game. Those defenses are going to be challenged on both sides.
The play blown dead, movement prior to the snap.
Ball start. Number 70 offense, half the distance to the goal remains. First down.
That's the right tackle, Alex Barron, who holds the dubious distinction, guys. He has committed more penalties over the last 3 seasons than any other player in the NFL.
You don't want to have that one.
No.
You got to give that title to somebody else.
You know, when you have so much noise like the Eagles fans are doing right now, when you're out there as a tackle, you got to look down into the ball. You got to peek in there, man.
From the 1, Jackson. Not much. Torrey Holt still without a catch today.
Yeah, some of this field position is probably impacting Torrey Holt's playing time, too. You look where they're started. Yeah.
Missed their 2nd consecutive drive that started after 2, and then they were backed up to the 1 following the penalty. 2nd down and 9. Bulger from the end zone. Dean Looker, the intended receiver. Late flag comes in. Quentin Michael on the coverage.
Is Is it illegal contact or is it pass interference? No, he's going.
Pass interference, number 27, defense, automatic first down.
Only the second Eagles penalty.
Boy, I might have to agree with the Philly fans here.
Yeah, that was horrible. Just standing about 5 yards behind Mark Bulger on that throw. I mean, he is not planting his feet. He's rushing everything. We talked about him getting confidence in the pocket, Moose. He does not have confidence right now about being out there.
Rams pick up 26 yards thanks to the penalty flag. And now Bulger's pass is caught. What a hit, knocking the helmet right off Jackson, Sheldon Brown. But Jackson celebrates as he picks up a first down as he gains 24.
He doesn't even want the helmet. He threw it to the sideline.
Here's a dimension that Steven Jackson's going to have in this new offense. You get him out wide, get him down the field. Now, when you don't go to training camp, you don't learn some of the subtleties and the nuances. That's one that he's going to make sure he remembers. Wow, did Sheldon Brown put one on him.
Man, I heard that 40 yards away.
Gotta love his reaction, though, Goose. He popped right up.
Rams in Eagles territory for the first time. Bulger taken down. Quentin Michael, who committed the penalty moments ago, with the sack. Second of the game by the Eagles.
You know, you thought that seeing the Rams and seeing Steven Jackson pop right up and get a little momentum going, and all of a sudden the sack comes from the Eagles. They just put a kibosh on that whole momentum swing right there.
Well, you know Jim Johnston real well, Tony. You know he's going to have something dialed up on that next play.
He's coming with everything.
Well, he's just... Now, that ball is out. It falls right into Mark Bulger's lap. And that's what all the pushing and shoving was at the end. I don't even think he realized that it rolled up into his lap. It's loose right now. You've gotten a couple breaks on this drive, a big pass interference penalty, and you just had that ball bounce right back to you. They've got to take advantage of it. Man, they look sloppy.
On that play, they had the split backs, too, going with max protection, trying to gain him some confidence, but Jim Johnston's going to pour it on right here, Moose.
Illegal snap, number 60 offense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
So 4 of the Rams' offensive linemen have been called for a penalty. Orlando Pace, the only Ram on the offensive line who has not been flagged so far. Bulger will head to the sidelines as we hit the 2-minute warning here in Philadelphia. Scott Linehan scratching his head. His Rams trail 14-0. Philadelphia Eagles scored on their first 2 drives of the game. They lead the Rams 14-0. 2 minutes to go, second quarter. Dante Hall in motion, second down and 21 for the Rams. Pass deflected at the line. Incomplete. Intended for Randy McMichael.
Jim Johnston is just challenging Mark Bulger right at the snap. There's Stuart Bradley, Quentin Michael up in those A-gaps again. That's the space between the guards and the center. You see Stuart Bradley get his hand up. They've got 5 guys to block because they're releasing Steven Jackson out. Jim Johnston is bringing more than they can pick up, forcing that ball to come out on a hot, which means one of those receivers on the outside has to break his route off. You get 2nd and 21, you force that route to break at 3 yards. They're just counting on their guys coming up and making the tackle.
3 wide receivers, 3rd down and 21. Bulger able to get rid of it. It is nearly picked off. That's the 3rd Bulger pass the Eagles have nearly intercepted.
I don't think they just couldn't decide who should intercept it on that one. They had 4 guys standing there. I agree with you, Goose. He doesn't have confidence in his guys up front.
He shouldn't after looking at that replay right there. I mean, they're just getting beat one-on-ones. And that's just plain football, man. Let's go out there. You got a guy in front of you, block him. Can't go and get beat that bad like we just saw. Whew.
5 offensive possessions for the Rams, 5 punts. They got the 13 by Jackson. He's forced back. And is down at the 7. Jonathan Wade with the terrific play on special teams for the Rams with 1:42 remaining in quarter 2. Coming up, the Visa halftime report with Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. They will be along with scores and highlights, and the Fox Sports Ticker will have all the latest stats. That's coming up on the Visa halftime report. It was pointed out on the pregame, Daryl, 8 Super Bowl rings in our studio.
Yeah, but we also have 8 out in the field, too.
That's right. You have 3. Troy Aikman has 3.
Goose has got 1.
Goose, and now Brian Billick has joined our Fox lineup this season.
Yep. Barry Switzer becomes the tiebreaker out in LA there.
That's right. Eagles starting from their 8-yard line as Westbrook is tackled by Chris Long. Speaking of our studio and Super Bowl rings, Chris, of course, the son of our colleague Howie Long.
Yeah, and the one thing that everybody talks about with Chris Long is the fact that you better block him. And we've seen him on special teams. I've watched him on some of the punt rushes. He's playing kickoff coverage, so this is not your typical second-round pick overall. He's a football player. That's all he is. He wants to get to the quarterback. He wants to help out his team. And, you know, Howie talked about him at the seminar. He's going through some of the, the learning curves and the growing process of any rookie. And we all went through them. Anybody who played in the NFL knows what it's like that first time around. And everybody that talks about Chris Long says what he's going to be. And that's because of his work ethic and his relentless attitude.
Oh, let me tell you something, Moose. Watching this kid play out here, he has an unbelievable motor. I mean, he never stops. He's relentless. You could knock him down. He's going to keep coming, keep coming. That's when you're going to get big plays out of a guy like that. You're going to get the fumble recoveries. You're going to get the ball out. You want players like that on your team.
Inside handoff to Westbrook. And he's tackled by James Hall.
You know, this is situations that they brought the communications for the defensive side of the ball with the coaches in 2-minute drills where the advantage for the quarterback to go and get the plays in. Now the defensive coordinators can go and signal or just call their play right in. It should be an advantage if the coach uses it right, but right here we're seeing a safety have it instead of a middle linebacker. It's hard for a safety to communicate the plays to the line of scrimmage for the Rams.
Rams have decided to go with Chavis, at least for today's game. McNabb on 3rd down and 8, and the catch is made. Streaking down the sidelines, Hank Basket. Touchdown, Eagles. 90 yards from McNabb to Basket.
I tell you what, right now, Goose, they should have that communication device in the safety helmet because all their issues are in the secondary. I mean, they've got guys running free.
Maybe that's giving them a problem. Maybe, with the guys in the secondary trying to get the communications forward, they don't have enough time to go and get set and communicate amongst themselves. Something maybe they should look at halftime.
Eagles.
Just a little play action fake, and all of a sudden Hank Basket is behind everybody on the left sideline. Again, it's blitz off the corner, and we've got confusion. We've got Jason Avant going down the seam. We've got Hank Basket on the outside. Corey Chavis in between a rock and a hard place with 2 guys going deep. He picks one, the ball goes to the other. I don't know if it's blown coverage, poor coverage design, and then the Philadelphia Eagles just hitting them with the perfect play call in that situation.
The second longest pass of McNabb's career. He hit T.O. Terrell Owens for 91 yards back in 2006 in Denver. And how about Hank Basket? 4 career touchdowns for Basket. 3 of the 4 have been 87, 89, and now 90 yards.
Wow. Tell you what, after he caught that ball, it was a sprint to the end zone. He's got some breakaway speed there after he gets that ball in his hands.
Well, the only one close to him was Jason Avant.
All 4 active wide receivers for the Eagles today have a reception of over 30 yards. Jackson 47, Avant 31, Lewis 52, Basket 90.
Well, we thought we were going to saw a Rams team that was going to spread the ball around and get it to their, everybody on the field. And that's exactly what the Eagles came out. You see what the results are if you go and spread it around the field.
Boy, I mean, not what we expected to see at all, Goose. I mean, they were confident, they were excited to put last season behind them. They had a lot of respect for Philadelphia and how talented they were, but I don't think they could have ever expected to be down 21-0 at half.
Dante Hall on the return for the Rams, and he's tackled at the 9-yard line by Akeem Jordan, second-year linebacker out of James Madison University.
That special teams practice every day in camp, Moose, is paying off. I'll tell you what, they got him pinned back on every play, and just watching that kickoff coverage team, I mean, there was no place for anybody to run on that play.
Well, you know they're not going to let the same thing happen last season, again this season, and just working on the fundamentals, making sure they've got everything done and dialed in. And Andy Reid, he admitted, he made some bad calls on some return guys. He hitched his wagon at Jeremy Bloom, and it didn't pan out. And they went into the opener last year without any experience in that spot.
Bulger off his back foot, looking for Jackson, incomplete.
This is exactly what you do if you look at Mark Bulger on this play. Again,
yeah, you go back, you take a look at what happened to him in the opener last year, and it was just the inability to be able to field a punt. Greg Lewis botched one, and then they brought J.R. Reed in. He botched one with under a minute to go in the game at the Eagles' 21-yard line and set up the game-winning field goal. So, you go out, you bring in Deshaun Jackson, you bring in Quentin Demps as your return guys, but then you also work on the fundamentals over and over and over to make sure that those types of situations don't derail your season.
Steven Jackson out to the 12-yard line. Stuart Bradley made the tackle.
You can talk to any coach in the league, Moose, and I'm sure we've heard it over our careers many a times. It's all about catching and tackling. The two things you have to do well. I mean, me coaching my son in football right now, I mean, we work with the kids every day on wrapping your arms, and it's no different when you get to the pros. You're doing the same thing, wrapping your arms, fundamentals. That's all they go. As long as you're going to be in any level of football you play, it's the little things, the tackling. You hear it every day. Even these guys on the field here in the NFL, that's what they hear every single day.
What a start to the season for Donovan McNabb. 3 first-half touchdown passes. 14 of 20, Daryl. 274 yards in the air.
Wow. That's stats for the whole game. We're only halfway through.
Think Kevin Curtis and Reggie Brown will be able to get their jobs back?
I think Reggie's hamstring's feeling better already.
Oh, they're both feeling real good right now.
Curtis, the former Ram, out with the sports hernia for at least a month. Bulger on 3rd and 6, intended for Torrey Holmes. Stuart Bradley made the play. And the Rams, for the 6th time in this first half, in 6 possessions, will punt.
Well, Al Saunders likes to get his key guys into a rhythm, and in this offense, that's Mark Bulger and Steven Jackson. He hasn't been able to get Steven Jackson going in the running game. He's got that big catch with the big hit from Sheldon Brown, but Mark Bulger, even if he was able to try and get him into a rhythm, I think Jim Johnston and this Eagles defense would just take him right out of that rhythm. He does not look confident right now.
Another terrific punt by Jones, forcing Jackson all the way back to the 30. And Jackson returns it out to the 36 yards. The newest Ram, Gary Stills, made the tackle following the 57-yard punt. 6 on the return. Stills signed this week, has had a terrific career on special teams with the Chiefs and the Ravens.
He's your consummate special teams player. Not going to get a lot of opportunities to play with this Rams defense, but he is going to be key to their coverage teams. Really, he'll be on every one of the big 4: kickoff return, kickoff coverage, punt rush, and punt protection. And he's going to be the guy that shores up this St. Louis Rams special teams group, because there's an area of this team, we haven't really had an opportunity to talk about it, but they need some work there. But boy, they've got a lot of work to do after this first half.
Stills from nearby Trenton, New Jersey. The slant intended for Deshaun Jackson. 13 seconds remaining in this second quarter. Eagles scored on their first 2 possessions after the Rams won the toss and deferred. Punts on their next 3 drives, and then the 90-yard touchdown pass from McNabb to basket.
Yeah, but they got to get rid of that little lull there. You see it, touchdown, touchdown, and then punt, punt, punt. 3, 4, and 4-play drives, and then they come back and hit the big touchdown. They've got to eliminate that little lull right there. And if St. Louis hits a big play, they get back into this game and have some confidence.
McNabb on 2nd and 10. It's complete to Jackson. Jackson picks up a first down. Out of bounds. Clock stops with 7 seconds remaining. 18 yards from McNabb to Jackson.
You wonder if Deshaun Jackson is going to be able to change Andy Reid's thinking about a wide receiver. He says it takes them 2 to 3 years in the NFL to really start to show what they're capable of. Deshaun Jackson has come out and just had a great opening game, showing a lot of composure and doing the little things correctly at the wide receiver position.
3 receptions, 66 yards for Jackson. Jackson has his 4th catch. Out of bounds. Eagles will have time for 1 more play.
Trying to pick up a quick 6 or 7 yards to give David Akers an opportunity on a long field goal, but that ball pulled Deshaun Jackson back, only got about 4. So
Eagles use their final timeout. A look at the offensive numbers for the Eagles in this first half of their season opener. Big play during the Eagles' first drive. 47 yards from McNabb to Deshaun Jackson. Cowboys and Browns coming up in the second game of our Fox doubleheader. We want to look at David Akers with the 3 extra points that he's kicked. He's the first Eagle in club history to reach 900 career points.
He's been rock solid for this franchise for a number of years. And, there was a point in time in his career where this would be an opportunity for David Akers to go take a shot at this at 58 yards, 59 yards.
His career log is 57 as McNabb airs it out. And he put a little too much on it. But no complaints from the Eagles coaches, fans, regarding Donovan McNabb in the first half. He's all smiles. 3 touchdown passes, 21-0 Eagles. The Visa halftime report is coming up after these messages.
Sponsored by Visa, proud sponsor of the NFL. Life takes Visa.
And we welcome you to the Visa halftime report. Kurt Menefee along with Terry Howie, Michael Strahan, and Jimmy Johnston as we check out the Week 1 scoreboard, and so far it's been an exciting one if you're an Eagles fan, Mr. Bradshaw.
Donovan McNabb, come back to the year last year, having a good first half. Play action sets up down the right side. He finds Deshaun Jackson, 47-yard completion. It's Jackson's first reception in his career, and then that led to a Westbrook touchdown, 7-0 Eagles. At the goal line, back drift. Give yourself some time. McNabb finds L.J. Smith. Touchdown. All Eagles over the visiting Rams. 21-0, and that is a halftime score. Detroit at Atlanta.
Well, one of the score first. Tampa Bay leads New Orleans. That game 10-7 at halftime. Now to Detroit and Atlanta.
Oh, sorry about that. Matt Ryan, rookie, Boston College, #1 draft choice of Atlanta. His first pass of his NFL career. Look at this, Howie. Touchdown pass, 62-yarder to Michael Jenkins. 7-0 Atlanta, then Michael Turner. Off left tackle, takes it back to the outside, back to the inside. 66-yard touchdown run, 14-0 Atlanta over Detroit. And then back come the Lions. Back in the corner. Beautiful extension by Roy Williams. Both feet down. 21-yard touchdown reception. 21-14 Falcons over the Detroit Lions.
Seattle at Buffalo, and the Bills thinking playoffs this year. They're off to a strong start here just before halftime, up by 10.
Jets at Miami. Brett Favre. That's right, folks. Brett Favre. Play action, Brett. There you go. Nice job. Does he have a strong arm? Got a strong arm. 56-yard touchdown pass to Jericho Cotchery. 7-0 Jets over the Miami Dolphins. Then 4th and 13. Because of the injury to their kicker, Mike Nugent, Favre has to go for it on the 4th down. 22-yard touchdown pass to Chancey Stuckey. 2-point conversions, no good. Once again, they don't have a kicker. 13-7 Jets on top of the Miami Dolphins. Big story. Kansas City at New England. Tom Brady, great quarterback for New England, is injured on this play. Pass is completed to Moss, but go back up. Bernard Pollard hits his left knee. Brady has to leave this football game, and as soon as we can give you an injury update, folks, we will do that. His replacement, Matt Castle, 10-yard strike back of the end zone. He finds Randy Moss, 7-3 Patriots on top of the visiting Kansas City Chiefs.
Other than the Brady injury, it's good to be at home here on week 1. You see Tennessee up by 3 at halftime over Jacksonville. In Pittsburgh, the Steelers all over the Houston Texans, despite the fact that Michael, Howie, and Jimmy all picked the Texans in an upset today on the pregame show. And Baltimore leading Cincinnati 10-3 to score in that one at half.
Thanks for that, buddy.
I'm sure I'll get paid back at some point.
Under the bus there.
Hey, let's go back to St. Louis and Philadelphia. And I don't know if it's St. Louis looking bad or McNabb is really looking this good, Michael, so far this game.
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, this is a healthy Donovan McNabb. I know there's a lot of questions. Is Donovan the Donovan of old, the Donovan of new? When Donovan McNabb is healthy, which is usually takes a year or so after you come back from a major knee surgery, you're back at full speed. And he is right now. That's why he's playing that way. You can expect to see this all year. At least that's what he told me.
By the way, I did pick him as my quarterback for the day, 297 yards, 3 touchdowns. Well, no, he's playing good. That's who I picked.
That's a really tough pick.
Howie, Detroit and Atlanta. Now, Michael predicted that Michael Turner would have a big game, but I don't know if anybody predicted Atlanta would look this good offensively.
Well, you know what? Atlanta made a lot of changes in the offseason. Bring in Mike Smith. For those who know him in the league, Smitty did a great job. Pick up Matt Ryan as their franchise quarterback, the job he did at Boston College, starting 5 rookies today. Michael Turner, it's a good thing they're playing the game indoors, because if it were outdoors, my man would be tired by now. You go Turner, you go Norwood. The question's always been down there. Are the wide receivers bad or is the quarterback bad? Well, we're finding out today. Pretty good.
Atlanta, 3 touchdowns in their first 3 drives. Never happened with Mike Vick as quarterback. Second half comes your way right after this.
Back in Philadelphia on kickoff weekend. Kenny Albert, Daryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa. All Eagles in the first half. They lead the Rams 21-0. Donovan McNabb with 3 touchdown passes. Ryan Westbrook, L.J. Smith, and Hank Baskett. Dante Hall back deep to receive the second half kickoff from David Akers. Ball rolls off the tee.
Anticlimactic.
Heavy winds and rain, of course, yesterday. In fact, there was a game here at Temple against UConn.
Amazing that there was a tropical storm here yesterday, the way the weather is today.
The field looks to be in pretty good shape despite the game yesterday afternoon.
Tony Leonard does a fantastic job here for the Philadelphia Eagles, getting this field ready.
Red groundskeeper with the Eagles. Ball from 1 yard deep in the end zone. And Hall tackled at the 20-yard line by Jason Avant. Well, one of the new rules of the NFL this year, you can win the coin toss and defer. That is what the Rams did. Eagles wind up scoring on their opening possession. You wonder how different things may have been had the Rams received the first half kickoff.
Well, we kind of agreed with the decision at the time because it puts your defense out on the field. This Philadelphia crowd is going to be wound up. It's a season opener. They're going to be really, really loud, and you don't want your offense out there, but the Philadelphia Eagles offense takes the ball and marches right down the field for a touchdown. So maybe not the best decision at the time.
So now it's the Rams who start the second half, and another one of those backward passes which we saw in the first half from Bulger to Jackson Goose, and Steven Jackson loses 4 yards.
You know, just had a chance to talk with Andy Reid, and one thing he said about his team and one thing he needs in the second half is make sure that they finish. Because we're up by 21 points, but we can't be happy with that. The game is not over. Finish, finish, finish. And he kept saying that to me and all the players as we walked in the tunnel today.
Thanks, Goose. Second down and 14. Rams still without wide receiver Drew Bennett. Suffered a left foot sprain in the first quarter. His return is questionable. The toss to Jackson. And Jackson takes it out to the 19-yard line. So the Rams now facing a third down and 11.
Well, you just look at the disparity right there. Passing yards, total yards. I mean, it's just all Philadelphia. Time of possession, the one thing, you know, that's kind of close, but obviously Philadelphia doing a much better job when they have the ball than St. Louis. And, you know, it's still trying to figure out what it is they want to hang their hat on to start this season. You know, they've got Torrey Holt, Mark Bulger, and Randy McMichael in the passing game. They've got Steven Jackson in the run game, but we really haven't had any idea of what Al Saunders or what Scott Linehan want this offense to be built upon.
Bulger on 3rd and 11, and that is the first catch of the season and the 806th of Torrey Holt's career, but it is not enough. Stop 3 yards shy of the marker. So for the 7th time in 7 possessions, the Rams will punt.
I just think that's a guy they got to get more involved in this game, Moose. I don't know about you, but Torrey Holt is a guy, when you put the ball in his hands, he could break one at any time. I mean, he's just been dormant the whole first half.
You know what, Goose, not only involved in the game, but on the field. I mean, there's a number of times when you look out there, he's not even in the personnel grouping.
He was involved in a negative way in the first quarter when he made contact with an official and was flagged for a 15-yard penalty. That was Torrey Holt. Good coverage downfield once again. Deshaun Jackson tackled at the 24 by Todd Johnston. A 54-yard punt by Jones. A bird of a different feather enjoying the action. The Eagles leading 21-0. They start from their own 24-yard line. Inside handoff, and Brian Westbrook found a hole. And is close to an Eagles first down.
That's what happens when you have receivers making giant plays downfield. All of a sudden they go and they forget about that man right there, Brian Westbrook. You see him right here. He just makes things happen. Gets up in the hole, makes great cuts, gets 9 yards on the play. That should have really only got 3 or 4 yards, but that guy can make some unbelievable plays like nobody else in this league.
Second down and 1. Here's Westbrook. And this time he's hit in the backfield by the combination of Leroy Glover and Chris Long.
Here's a look at some of those receivers that Tony was talking about. The rookie gets it started off. Deshaun Jackson, just a great play at the point of the catch. Jason Avant gets into it on the next one. And then just some blown coverages by this Rams secondary. Double moves, one for Greg Lewis, the second one for Hank Basket, and that's just a killer at the end of the half. A huge play, 90-yard pass play for a touchdown.
McNabb on 3rd and short, incomplete. So the Eagles go 3 and out. Lewis unable to come up with it. Donovan McNabb, 297 yards in the air in the first half, 3rd most in a half in his career. 3 touchdown passes.
Well, there's a good sign for Eagle fans right there. You can see how angry Donovan is with himself, because as Tony pointed out, that first play got 9 yards. They're at 2nd and 1, and here they are punting the ball.
Good kick by Rocca. Angle towards the sideline, and it did not give Hall an opportunity for a return. Joselio Hansen knocked him out of bounds. Rams go back on offense. Early 3rd quarter. Tony with a bird's eye view as the Rams start from their own 17. Rams have punted on all 7 possessions.
This Rams offense is playing. That pitcher might not be safe back there.
Asante Samuel thought he had it. Wow.
He did everything right but make the catch.
Bulger forcing that ball in. I mean, Samuels was on top of his eyes right there. As soon as that ball comes out, he saw the goal line right there.
Samuel with more interceptions the last 2 seasons than anybody else in the NFL. Eagles have had 4 near picks today.
He has played well too. Asante Samuel, you can see why the Eagles were so aggressive in getting him in free agency.
Second and 10. Bulger to the outside, broken up by Omar Gaither. So the Eagles have now gotten their hands on 5 of Bulger's 18 pass attempts.
Steven Jackson getting matched up against the linebacker in the passing game, a little bit behind him, but you can see he's kind of losing ground. When you're out in the flat, you can't lose ground. That allows the linebacker the opportunity to undercut and make a play on the ball.
Three wide receivers, 3rd down and 10. Bulger complete to McMichael, but he's tackled at the 21 by Quentin Michael and Stuart Bradley. So the Rams make it 8 for 8. 8 possessions, 8 punts. Jones punted well today, averaging just under 49 yards per kick.
He's been the one bright spot this afternoon for the Rams.
Finished 3rd in the league last season from his own 15-yard line. Another good kick, forcing Jackson back to the 25. Jackson up the middle, dragged down by Gary Stills. Deshaun Jackson thinking of what might have been a 52-yard punt, 18 on the return. Quarterbacks not the only players wearing the green sticker on the back of their helmets this season. Eagles with a 21-0 lead and their best starting field position of the day. 3 wide receivers set, 1st and 10 from the 44. Donovan McNabb over the middle, and a diving attempt is made by L.J. Smith.
I like the play call, though. Still staying aggressive.
Great pass, too. It was in a spot where he could have got it.
So 2nd and 10 coming up. And secondary coach Ron Milas signals in the play. To Corey Chavis. Second and 10. Westbrook into Rams territory. Brian Westbrook lost the football. There's a penalty marker out. May have inadvertently come out of the pocket of one of the officials. It's picked back up. James Hall made the tackle.
This is what allows you to be aggressive on 1st down when you've got somebody like Brian Westbrook who can get you almost a 1st down, and then heads up play right there. That ball comes loose at the end, but he's able to get back on top of it. But you're looking at 2nd down and 10. A lot of people think obvious passing down. You can come back and hand the ball off to Brian Westbrook, and he can almost go get you the 1st down.
Westbrook led the league in yards from scrimmage last season, over 2,100. 3rd down and 1. Westbrook. 1st down, he loses the football again, but fortunately for the Eagles, it lands out of bounds. It was knocked out by O.J. Atogwe.
I've never seen this play before, and I've seen it 3 times today, where the quarterback turns around and throws the ball backwards. Now, this is short yardage. You get everybody to commit. You have Donovan McNabb slide over to his left. You want all those defenders to come pinch to the inside, and then you're trying to get Brian Westbrook out on the perimeter with no support. O.J. Atogwe does a good job punching that out.
Westbrook, Daryl, only 2 fumbles all of last season. He's lost the football on the last 2 plays. From the Rams, 44. Off the play fake. McNabb steps up. Can't find anyone. Heading for the sidelines. Picks up 3. We've talked a lot about the coach to quarterback and coach to defensive player communication system today.
Well, the interesting thing that St. Louis does, you see Ron Miles down there on the lower right-hand side. Now he's gonna stay in contact with Corey Chavis, but Jim Haslett will actually be signaling in the defense. Now that's going to shut off at 15. The communication will be stopped by both sides. So, you know, right now one of the things that everybody talked about was the tips and the tendencies when they break formation. Didn't see a lot of it going on there, but the Rams still trying to really find their way. You heard Tony talk at the top of the broadcast. Haven't really found a good system yet with their defensive communication.
Westbrook turns the corner.
Come out to get it.
Out of bounds at the 35-yard line. And we've talked to players and coaches now from a number of teams, and everybody seems to have a different opinion on the new defensive system.
Jim Haslett, you know, still trying to figure it out. He doesn't see what kind of advantage it gives. He's like to see the time go down to 10 seconds before they cut off the communication to really try and prevent the offense from, you know, substituting personnel at the last minute, breaking the huddle late. So he really doesn't think at 15 seconds it plays into an advantage on either side.
Old school man right there. He likes signaling.
Yeah, I think that has a little bit to do with it too, Bruce.
Third down and 2, Westbrook. And Westbrook has a first down. The competition committee implemented the system on the defensive side during the offseason. One of the reasons was to try and eliminate the stealing of signs sent in from the sideline.
Well, the big thing I think that they were finding out was the offense was not just signaling in the play. Up until that 15-second cutoff, the coach, the quarterback, whoever was talking to the quarterback on the field was giving him all the tips and what to look for. Hey, you've got weak safety blitz coming from your left. Remember, you're hot here. The defense had no way to communicate those things. So they looked at it from that standpoint, that it was maybe giving the offense too much of an advantage, and they wanted the defense to have that same opportunity.
So it evens the playing field a bit. Off the play fake. McNabb for Deshaun Jackson. He makes a terrific catch. Knocked out of bounds at the Rams 7. 25 yards from McNabb to Jackson.
Watch Deshaun Jackson's hands on this play. They don't come up until the last second. He's got his head turned around. He's got the ball coming in. O.J. Atugwe doesn't know it's there until it's on top of him. Deshaun Jackson continues to run, extends his hands at the last second to get that ball. O.J. Atugwe has no idea it's coming in right over his shoulder.
He does not look like a rookie down here, Moose, I'll tell you that.
McNabb over 300 yards. Jackson, the first Eagles rookie wide receiver to start on opening day since 1990. First and goal from the 7. McNabb, the slant, and Smith is wrapped up nicely and tackled by Ron Bartell just shy of the goal line.
That's a real nice play by Ron Bartell, because he's out on L.J. Smith, a big tight end, and you run that quick slant, you expect L.J. Smith to be able to muscle his way into the end zone. Ron Bartell drives him back and denies him 6 points.
Second and goal from the 1-yard line.
68.
Dan Klecko in the backfield. The backup defensive lineman. A handoff to the fullback, Hunt. And Hunt is in for the touchdown.
Dan Klecko paved the way to the end zone in that play also. Pushing that line of scrimmage all the way to the linebacker.
We've seen Klecko use that offense with the Patriots. He's won 3 Super Bowl rings with New England and Indianapolis. In on this play, led to a touchdown.
Yeah, a lot of times, though, they'll substitute a defensive guy in like that. But look at Dan Klecko's technique. I mean, he's got very, very good technique. Sometimes you put somebody back there just because of their size, but it's so different, that blocking style. But Dan Klecko, very good technique in his blocking on the goal line.
Daryl, the original goal when Klecko came to the Eagles was to play fullback. And then they decided to move him back over to the defensive side.
He impressed everybody too much playing defensive tackle.
The schedule will not get any easier, Daryl, for the St. Louis Rams. They host the Giants next week. 4 of their first 6 games against the NFC East.
That's a tough start. It's a tough start, especially for a team that, you know, they really wanted to turn the page on the 07 season and come out and have a good showing. And, you know, we really felt that they were going to do that, but they have just not been able to establish any type of continuity. 8 drives on offense, 5 of them are 3 and outs. You know, the big thing, what do we want to be? You know, what do we want to hang our hat on offensively? Start leaning on Steven Jackson. Yeah, he missed all of camp in a holdout, but he's a heck of a running back.
Dante Hall. Ball brought down just shy of the 25 by Sean Considine. 28-0 Eagles.
Well, I remember a season opening game back in, I think it was 2000, when the Eagles came down to Texas Stadium, a very, very hot afternoon, and they were drinking pickle juice. Times have changed now. They got some fancy stuff on the sidelines. Pre-packaged. I tell you, this organization, they find ways. They check, the training staff has alternative, therapy people come in and work. They're always looking for an advantage.
G. Staley rushed for 201 yards in that game back in 2000.
False start. Number 84 offense, 5-yard penalty still. First down.
That's on the tight end, McMichael.
I tell you, they don't get off to a good start on any drive. I mean, how many times has it been 1st and 15 or 2nd and 13?
You know, what's funny is you'll see the huddle after somebody jumps off sides. Nobody's even saying, come on, man, let's get this thing going. It's just like, okay, you jumped off sides. That's not, you need a leader on that offensive huddle, or in that offensive huddle, to go and take charge with it, guys.
First and 15 for the Rams. Folger to the outside. Catch is made by Dante Hall. Brian Dawkins made the tackle as we send it west to Kurt Menefee.
Well, blowouts all over Pennsylvania. Ben Roethlisberger, 13 of his first 14 passing, including 2 scores to Hines Ward. Willie Parker's run for 3 touchdowns, and they bleed Houston 35-3. Back to Philly.
I think that's another team with high aspirations coming into the season. The Houston Texans, the odd team out in the AFC South playoff hunt last year. I don't think they expected to go out and get whacked by Pittsburgh like that.
Down goes Folger for the 3rd time. Lito Klecko, who was in at fullback and led the way for Tony Hunt on the Eagles' last touchdown, coming up with the sack.
Goose, how did Lito Shepherd miss it?
Lito Shepherd came scot-free. Look down at the bottom here. He comes scot-free, just misses him. Oh, we talked about it earlier. Tackling, wrapping up, right, Moose?
Yeah.
You tell your son, you coach him in football too. Got to wrap up. It starts when you're little, goes all the way up.
Not a bad 3rd quarter for Mr. Klecko. 3rd down and 18. Folger, shovel pass, Jackson. Stuart Bradley is right there to make the tackle, and the Rams, for the 9th time in 9 possessions, will punt.
They really, really wanted to shore up the offensive line. They knew what happened to them last year, the St. Louis Rams, with the multiple injuries in that group, how it impacted the entire team. I think they had thought they had made strides during the preseason, but obviously it's still a work in progress. Protection has been shoddy. Not a lot of running lanes for Steven Jackson.
Here's a lane for Deshaun Jackson. Jackson cuts to his left. He's inside the 30, the 20. And finally forced out of bounds by the punter, Donnie Jones. A 60-yard return by Jackson.
One of the things the Eagles wanted to work on this offseason by bringing in return guys was establishing better starting field position. They had the fewest drives start in opponent's territory last season. Now, a lot of that is defense and turnovers, but the other area is special teams and your returns. And it looks like this year with Deshaun Jackson and Quentin Demps, they're going to have much better starting field position, and wait till that defense starts to kick in if they can start getting the turnovers that we're used to seeing a Jim Johnston defense get.
What a debut for Deshaun Jackson. 1st and goal for the Eagles from the Rams 9. 3 receivers set, and the play blown dead.
False start, number 82, offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Wow. What a great opening debut for a rookie in the NFL. I mean, Kenny mentioned it before, you know, a rookie wide receiver has never started for Andy Reid before, and he comes in and just has that type of a day and contributes that much to his team's success.
McNabb, L.J. Smith. Good effort, could not hold on.
Needs to give himself a little bit more margin for error on the outside. Kind of straighten that up right now. You keep fading. That sideline becomes the 12th defender.
Second and goal, 4 wide receivers. Deshaun Jackson split to the right. Ryan Westbrook down to the 5-yard line before he was tackled by Otagwe. So a third and goal coming up as we approach 3 minutes remaining. Third quarter, Eagles lead 28-0.
Was that like the third time we've seen Brian Westbrook go for like 9+ yards on a second down and 10 or a second and long, Goose?
He just does a great job of staying right behind them offensive linemen. I mean, I'm here at the same level as the offensive lineman, and when he comes out, you lose him. I can't see where he comes out, and then all of a sudden he just pops out. That's how he gets those yards. He knows when to come out from behind those big guys and make his move.
Listed at 5'10". Not so sure if that's accurate. Here's McNabb. He steps up. Shovel pass. Incomplete. Looking for L.J. Smith.
Hey, Goose, could he have made it?
Yeah, he was right there. He should have tucked it down and took that in himself instead of doing that shuffle pass. You know, he only had 3 yards to go. I think he could have made that one, Moose.
Who's that coming back? James Hall. I think James Hall might have got him. He must have felt the pressure coming from the right side. James Hall did a nice job retracing after he was up the field in his pass rush lane, came right back down that stem and started chasing Donovan McNabb down.
23-yard attempt, David Akers. 31-0. Philadelphia. Eagles will be keeping a close eye on the second game of our Fox NFL doubleheader, as they will take on the Cowboys next Monday night in Dallas. Coming up after the Eagles and the Rams, the Dallas Cowboys and the Cleveland Browns. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman will have the call. Daryl, you live in Dallas. You play for the Cowboys. Cowboys fell short of the NFC Championship game, lost to the Giants in the playoffs. What are they saying in Dallas about this year's version?
Well, they're trying to play it down, but everybody understands that anything but the Super Bowl is probably going to be a disappointing season this year. I know the one thing they're hoping that their wide receiver group performs as well as Philadelphia's has today. Miles Austin, Sam Hurd, both going to be out of that game because of injuries sustained in the preseason. Dallas didn't adjust and go out and get anybody either. So similar situation to the Eagles. And I'm excited to see it. I think Cleveland last year 10-6 on the cusp of the playoffs in the AFC. I think it's a tough game for the Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas did add a big name on the defensive side, Adam Jones.
Well, you know, similar to what the Philadelphia Eagles have done with Deshaun Jackson and Quentin Demps. You know, they needed something to give them a shot in the arm in their return game. And, you know, I think Felix Jones came in, and he was one of the guys they were going to look at. But he's been so impressive in camp, I don't know if they really want to put him back there in certain situations. But Adam Jones should definitely help them in their return game. But the big thing today with Philadelphia, because, you know, everybody's playing today, and you got the Monday night teams that are playing tomorrow watching, but the Giants and the Redskins are sitting at home watching this game. The Philadelphia Eagles have sent a message to the NFC East today.
Deshaun Jackson has sent a message to the teams that passed on him in April's draft. He was the 49th overall selection, second round out of Cal. First team All-American. Led the Eagles in receptions during the preseason and What a debut here in the regular season for Jackson.
I mean, just a fantastic debut. And Andy Reid really doesn't think that a young receiver is ready to compete in the NFL and have the success that Deshaun Jackson has had today. And I think Andy's just got to be over the top about what he's seen from his top pick in this past draft.
Nice run by Steven Jackson, no relation to Deshaun. Gains 9 before he's tackled by Stewart Bradley.
I think, you know what, Moose, I think a lot of people also overlook the Eagles. You know, in the NFC East, everyone's talking about the Cowboys and the Giants, and the Eagles were sort of like, well, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if you know, who's healthy, what they're going to do. Now I think with today's debut and what they have here on film, they're not going to sneak up on anybody anymore. People are going to go and say, man, this team is for real.
I think the big thing is Kenny mentioned at the top of the broadcast, because the Eagles were the one team that didn't make the playoffs out of the NFC East, and automatically you think, well, what were they last year? 5-11? You know, 6-10? No, they were 8-8. And they knocked off Washington and Dallas last December, really started playing their best football at the end of the season as everybody started to get healthy. Donovan got his confidence back. So, you know, this is a team that's been under the radar the entire offseason and throughout the preseason. Not any longer, not after today.
And they still don't have, you know, Kevin Curtis and Reggie Brown in the lineup. I mean, when those two guys come back with this receiving core, I mean, Donovan's got to be very happy to be able to foot all these guys.
That pass batted at the line by Chris Clemens, who had 8 sacks for the Raiders last season. Rams make it a perfect 10 for 10. 10 possessions, 10 punts.
You know, kind of that similar blitz package that we keep seeing all game long. They bring pressure right up into the middle with Stewart Bradley, Quentin Michael, put them right over top of the center, force that ball to come out quick. Chris Clemens gets his hands up, bats it down.
His uncle Charlie, a member of the Rams Super Bowl team back in '99, Charlie Clemens. Eagles using Quentin Dempsey, giving Jackson a bit of a break. Dempsey, the 4th-round pick out of Texas, El Paso. He lets it bounce. It touches one of the Eagles, Joselio Hansen. And Hansen falls on it at the 24.
But just, I mean, all day long, we've seen smart plays by the Eagles. I mean, you know, hey, did the ball touch somebody? Just get down on it. Don't let the St. Louis Rams have an opportunity to get another possession.
Citizens Bank Park, just across the street from Lincoln Financial Field. Phillies will be in action on Fox next Saturday as they host the Milwaukee Brewers. Some of you will see the Braves and the Mets, or the Tigers and the White Sox. Check local listings for the game in your area. The Fox Saturday Baseball Game of the Week, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific in high def, only on Fox. Phillies with a doubleheader today against the New York Mets, who lead the Phillies by 2 games in the National League East. Under a minute to go, 3rd quarter. McNabb to the outside, and the catch is made by Hank Baskett, who scored the Eagles' 3rd touchdown. A 90-yard reception in the 2nd quarter. Check this out, guys. We mentioned it's Baskett's 3rd career touchdown of 85 yards or longer. No other current player in the NFL has done it more than once. Baskett has done it 3 times.
Do we have the Nugget Alert set up for week 1, Goose?
No, I'll get that out though.
All right.
Oh, there it is. There it is. I hear it.
All right, there it is. There we go. That was
Nugget.
Now that one qualified. That one qualified.
That was a good one too.
McNabb changing the play. Play clock at 2. McNabb looking for Baskett, and there is a flag. Fakir Brown on the coverage. Penalty marker is thrown.
I got to take a look at this one. I don't get this one either.
I think they're calling it an offensive.
It's got to be.
Pass interference, number 34.
Yeah, I don't.
Automatic first down.
I mean, the ball is underthrown and Hank Baskett's going back. Let's see if Fakir Brown does anything with his hands. I don't know. There was another one early in the first half. I think, you know, at 31-0, I let that one go.
Looked like he got his body caught up in the legs of the 6'4" receiver. 13 seconds remaining in the quarter. 1st and 10 from the Rams 44. Ryan Westbrook cuts to the outside. And Westbrook fights his way across. Our yellow line for another Eagles first down, and that will do it for quarter number 3. Eagles extend their lead as we head to the fourth. 31-0 Philadelphia. Welcome back, Kenny Albert, Daryl Johnston, Goose downstairs. Guys, could the Eagles have written a better script?
No, absolutely not. I mean, everything that was a concern coming into this game, they passed with flying colors, wide receivers, special teams. Goose, they look pretty good in the NFC East.
I'll tell you what, they just got two of their starting receivers out. They got rookies filling in, 2 rookie guys on the returns. No mess ups in special teams that they were really concerned about. Coverage was good. I can't find a flaw. I don't know about you.
Fourth quarter underway. McNabb to Jackson, one of the rookies Goose has been talking about, as we check in with our veteran in the studio, Kurt Menefee.
Well, you guys were talking about the NFC East. How about the NFC South? New Orleans and Tampa. Ignore the flag. That's defensive offsides. Drew Brees takes advantage, finds Devery Henderson for an 84-yard score, and the Saints jump back on top of the Bucs, 17-13 early in the fourth. Back to Kenny, Moose, and Goose.
A seesaw battle in New Orleans. That not the case here in Philadelphia. 31-0 Eagles.
Well, there's another team that the Saints got off to a terrible start last year and never able to dig themselves out of that hole either.
Westbrook up the middle, down to the 16-yard line. Eagles, Daryl, now have 2 receivers over the 100-yard mark in today's game. Deshaun Jackson with 106. Hank Baskett with 102.
With a 51-yard average?
Jackson with 97 punt return yards as well.
Over 200 total yards in his rookie debut. Way to go, Deshaun Jackson.
You'll never forget that, right, Moose? You never forget your rookie debut, do you?
No. And I didn't even do anything. They still remember it.
McNabb complete. L.J. Smith. Another Eagles first down. Well, Goose mentioned opening day, and you have to go all the way back. Daryl, 1989, you made your debut against the Saints. Tony, 1990. What is this, played sparingly? 3 penalties?
Hey, listen, it's the more you could do. It was a holding penalty. They got me on special teams on a kickoff return team, and our coach, all he kept doing was saying, stay on the 20-yard line. And they had some tight end. All he did was run straight at me. The guy wanted me to be the nail. I just went up to the coach and said, Coach, I'm the hammer, not the nail. So I figured if I got 3 penalties, they would take me off the team. Well, they didn't do that. Buffalo Bills were tough back in the day. You know that.
Oh, yeah. Back in the early 90s.
Steve Tasker running the special teams. Oh, guys were tough.
What do you remember, Moose, about your debut?
I remember having a 3-1 preseason and everybody kind of being excited. It was Jimmy Johnson's first year with the Cowboys and going down to New Orleans and getting thumped by the Saints. And we missed, I don't know, 20-something tackles. And that was it. Jimmy Johnson had us doing live tackling drills for the rest of the year, starting that next Wednesday.
After a 3-1 preseason.
Jimmy's famous saying those Venus de Milo tackles.
Here's Westbrook. He walks it in for another Eagles touchdown.
And Jim Haslett, that look from Jim Haslett right there, the defensive coordinator for the St. Louis Rams, is just, my goodness, these guys have got a lot of weapons and a lot of ways to beat you offensively. Long passes. You've seen Brian Westbrook, when they're in a second and long situation, put them right back into a 3rd and short to sustain drives.
38-0 Eagles. Westbrook with his second touchdown today. Donovan McNabb and the Eagles out on top, 38-0 early fourth quarter on kickoff weekend in the National Football League. Giants got a head start on Thursday with a 16-7 victory over the Washington Redskins. Cowboys will be in action later today on Fox in Cleveland. And the Rams, who have punted 10 times in 10 possessions, will start from their own 20-yard line. $38-0 Eagles. Donovan McNabb, 361 yards in the air, 3 touchdowns. Mark Bulger on the Rams go to work from their own 20-yard line. Bulger, 10 of 22, just 95 yards. Steven Jackson, 40 yards on the ground. Bulger's pass is caught for a first down and taken out across midfield by McMichael. Gain of 30.
He's been the one bright spot in the offense this afternoon.
5th catch for Randy McMichael. Officially 31 yards. Bulger, complete. Dane Looker. Another Rams first down.
Well, the last 2 plays, looking at Mark Bulger, I mean, that's the comments. He's looked in the pocket. I mean, took his time, made 2 throws. I don't know if it took them being down by so much for them to get that kind of composure, but his last 2 plays didn't look like the same as all the other ones.
31 and 21 yards, Goose, on the last 2 completions. From the 29, Bulger wrapped up. 4th sack for the Eagles, Stuart Bradley.
Jim Johnston must have been thinking the same thing I was, Moose.
Well, yeah, you get a couple of big plays on you. He's not going to let that happen and continue to happen. And you get everybody looking to one side. Steven Jackson, if you're going to go down and cut, you better put your shoulder through his thigh pad. He's down way too low. People in the NFL much too athletic. There's a little bit of rust from not being in training camp.
4 receivers set, 2nd down and 15. Bulger's pass caught at the 28-yard line by Dante Hall.
Orlando Pace on the sideline. They're working on him right now. Looks like he got hurt on that last pass play. We don't know what it is, but we will find out.
I tell you, it was the one to Dane Looker. He was real slow getting back to the line of scrimmage on the pass to Dane Looker down the sideline. Went 1 more snap. But now remember, he had that shoulder worked on last season when he was out. But during the preseason, he went to make a tackle on an interception and kind of dinged it up again.
There was the right shoulder last year, injured in the first half of game 1.
False start, number 89 offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
That's on Looker, so Adam Goldberg has replaced Orlando Pace at left tackle. Pace, the senior member of the Rams, now that Isaac Bruce is in San Francisco, has been to the Pro Bowl 7 times. And Scott Linehan told us yesterday what a downer it was when Pace went out in the first half of game 1 last season for the entire team.
First team timeout.
Eagles on a picture-perfect Sunday afternoon in Philadelphia. The Eagles lead the Rams 38-0. 3rd down and 14 from the Eagles 33. Following a timeout, Bulger to Jackson. Jackson tackled at the 28 by Michael. And the Rams will send out their new field goal kicker, Josh Brown, who spent the last 5 seasons in Seattle. Signed a big contract with the Rams to replace Jeff Wilkins. And Brown's first attempt as a Ram will be from 46 yards out. Good start to Brown's career with St. Louis. Rams are finally on the board. It's the first time they didn't punt today. The St. Louis Rams are finally on the scoreboard. 46-yard field goal by Josh Brown. The Eagles scored the first 38 points of today's game. And with 9 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, Brown getting set to kick off. Taken at the 6 by Dempsey. 16-yard return. Donovan McNabb's day is done. So Kevin Cobb, a second-round draft pick in 2007 out of the University of Houston, will come in here in the fourth quarter. Played in one game last year against Detroit, did not throw a pass. So Cobb still looking to throw his first regular season pass in the NFL. Conference USA Player of the Year, made 50 career starts at Houston. Threw for close to 13,000 yards. From the 22. Lorenzo Booker brought down by Quentin Culberson. McNabb with his best opening day numbers. 21 of 33, 361, 3 touchdowns.
That's just a huge day, and that shows you, and Tony mentioned this last year, we had the Eagles and the Packers in the opening game, and Tony's been through 2 ACLs. And, you know, Tony said there's no way he's ready. He's inside of a year. He's about 10 months removed from it. He's not going to be the same guy. And you've seen the difference this year. And Andy Reid really said you could see the difference last year in the month of December once he got a year beyond that surgery.
It's gaining confidence. It's gaining confidence in your knees. It's gaining confidence in being able to stop and plant.
Cobb's first NFL pass is caught by Brent Selleck as we head to Los Angeles and Kurt Menefee.
Well, we've seen Tampa Bay and New Orleans go back and forth. Tampa Bay leading until this play. Reggie Bush scoots on through, makes a move, and then right at the end, the dive for the end zone. New Orleans goes on top 24-20 on that play. 6.5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Back to Kenny, Moose, and Goose.
Thanks very much, Kurt. 2 changes on the offensive line for the Eagles. They have sent in Nick Cole and Max Jean Gillis with a 38-3 lead. Cole at left guard, Gillis now at right guard. Penalty marker as Cobb was looking for Jason Avant.
Yeah, but unfortunately for Todd Herremans, he gets kicked out to left tackle, and Trey Thomas gets to come off.
Trey Thomas and John Runyon, the 11-year and 13-year veterans.
Well earned.
Get to take a seat.
Illegal contact. Number 26 of the defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic. First down.
That's on Ty Hill. Sean Andrews moves to right tackle. And we talked about Donovan McNabb and his terrific numbers today. It's his 10th season here in Philadelphia, drafted in '99, which was also Andy Reid's first year. So they've now been together for 10 seasons. 10
seasons together, and this is really Donovan's first season where he's felt that he hasn't been the focal point of some concern going into the season. And his career here in Philadelphia started off with a round of boos from Eagles fans at Madison Square Garden when they selected him number 2 overall. So, you know, it's been tough on Donovan, and even with a day like today, you know, like Kevin Cobb comes into the game and the fans are cheering, and it's absolutely bizarre. And, you know, people talk about, is this going to be Donovan McNabb's last year as quarterback? You know, is Andy Reid nearing the end of his tenure as head coach of the Eagles? And in my view, you look at this list, the coach and quarterback combination, you see where Andy Reid and Donovan McNabb are, but look at that list. Guess what the one thing in common with all those guys are? Each one of those coach-quarterback combinations played in a Super Bowl. So you've got to have continuity at head coach. You've got to have continuity at the quarterback position to be successful. And why would you make a change or try to force a change when you don't have anything to replace that's better than what you have? And I really don't understand, you know, why you would even mess with the situation that they have here right now.
One of only 8 combos since 1970, head coach quarterback, that have been together for at least 10 seasons. You mentioned the draft. Eagles fans wanted Ricky Williams. Eagles selected Donovan McNabb with the 2nd overall pick. 5 quarterbacks drafted in the first round. And McNabb is the last one standing.
Huh. And standing tall. I mean, that was supposed to be a class to rival the '83 class. And not quite. Not quite. And you look at what Donovan McNabb has done, and then just think of everything that has gone on in Ricky Williams' career. I mean, they made a great choice with Donovan McNabb, #2 overall.
125 starts, that just sticks right out at you. You talked about it earlier. You don't know what you have till you don't have it anymore.
And Goose, a career record as a starter of 73 and 39. As Lorenzo Booker takes it into Rams territory. One other note on McNabb. He threw 33 passes today without an interception. He is now the all-time leader in NFL history. He jumped ahead of Neil O'Donnell today. Lowest career interception percentage. Interception per pass attempt. McNabb is now #1 in league history.
He's got him. Well, nugget alert.
You know, you've got all those playmakers around you. You've got a quarterback who makes very good decisions. The one problem with this whole scenario, where all this talk arises from, is 4 NFC Championship game appearances, 1 Super Bowl appearance. And it's kind of what you talk about with Marv Levy and Jim Kelly in Buffalo. You know, 4 Super Bowl appearances, but they never won the big game. And what would have people thought about that group had they won 1 or 2 of those Super Bowls? I think that Donovan McNabb and Andy Reid faced that same speculation because of getting to the championship game, but not taking that next step only one time going on to the Super Bowl.
And the first of the 4 was in St. Louis. First time Andy Reid and Donovan McNabb advanced to the NFC Championship game. They lost to the Rams 29-24 back in January of '02. And they would then host the next 3 NFC Championship games. 3rd down and 6. Under 6 minutes to go, 4th quarter. As Cobb finds his man, Brent Selleck, the second-year tight end out of Cincinnati. And Selleck has an Eagles first down at the Rams 39.
Different cast, same results.
Yeah, they're just, the Rams secondary is just not covering. It doesn't matter what body's out there or who's out there. They're just seem not to be getting the job done, not all together, you know, working together as one unit. It seems like 11 bodies out there going in 11 different directions.
Sid Hasler wants to cover his eyes and not look.
It's not just the sun.
Booker down to the 38-yard line. Big theme of our open. The 2 starting wide receivers for the Eagles out, Kevin Curtis, Reggie Brown. Well, you look at what the other guys did. The rookie Deshaun Jackson, 106 yards, 6 receptions. First rookie with 100 yards receiving in the league on opening day since Anquan Bolden back in 2003. Hank Baskett, a 90-yard touchdown reception. Greg Lewis, a 52-yard catch. And Jason Avant with a 31-yard reception.
I mean, obviously Hank Baskett with a big 90-yarder, you know, that goes for the touchdown, but Deshaun, Greg, and Jason, all big plays that were the key play in a touchdown drive that really kind of blew this game open early. And on the other side of this, the St. Louis Rams, I mean, Tony, I am surprised to see them play the way they played today. And you sat down and talked to Scott Linehan and Mark Bulger and Steven Jackson yesterday, and then we talked to Al Saunders and Jim Haslett before the game. I did not expect to see this team come out and play the way they did this afternoon.
No, especially after last year, with all the injuries and just the feeling of losing so many games. Moose, me and you have been 1-15 in our careers. And you do not want that feeling anymore. You do anything possible to get rid of that feeling. And you know they came back in the preseason and did all their preseason stuff, but just to go out there and have this kind of a display, I mean, you know it's not sitting very good. And all of that whole sideline stumps right here.
Well, you know, working on the intangibles. You know, sometimes in camp you go in, and when you're a team that has a season like the Rams had last year, you're looking to improve on bigger things than your special teams or your wide receiver position. I mean, this group went away for the first time in Scott Linehan's tenure as head coach. You know, went up to Wisconsin and, you know, kind of hunkered down, old school training camp style. They wanted to build their chemistry. They wanted to become a tougher, more physical team. They felt they'd accomplished that during the course of training camp. And, you know, I'd love to be a fly on the wall in the meeting room when the coaches sit down to watch this tape and try and decipher what in the world went on during the course of this game.
Cowboys and Browns coming up next on Fox. We approach 3 minutes remaining, fourth quarter. New set of downs for Kevin Kolb and the Eagles. Following Dallas and Cleveland, the OT, a recap of the entire day, the first Sunday of the 2008 NFL season.
One thing the Cowboys better not do, Moose, is overlook the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, absolutely, Tony. Absolutely. I mean, there is a lot of firepower on that Browns offense.
False start, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
You know, they've beefed up the inside. They brought in Sean Rogers. They brought in Corey Williams from Green Bay. You know, it's a good defense. Dallas has said all the right things all last week in preparation. They paid them the appropriate amount of respect, and we'll see if it carries over to Sunday.
First and 15 from the 34 as Hooker takes it down to the 30 as we head to Los Angeles and Kurt.
Well, Kenny, don't forget that when you guys are done, Game 2 of our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader will feature the Cowboys at the Cleveland Browns. Looks like Dallas will be trying to win in order to keep pace with those Philadelphia Eagles there in the NFC East. Kenny?
The Eagles and the Giants winning their openers. Redskins 0-1. Cowboys and Browns coming up next.
How about Dallas, Philadelphia already next weekend? Whew.
And the Rams will see the Giants in St. Louis next Sunday. Kolb over the middle. The catch is made by Lewis for an Eagles first down. Kolb hitting Lewis for 15 yards as we hit the 2-minute warning in Philadelphia. Don't miss it tonight. The worldwide television phenomenon comes to Fox. Don't miss a special preview of Hole in the Wall. Only Fox can bring you the game where you can win it all if you can make it through the hole in the wall. Special preview tonight at 8/7 Central, right here on Fox. And Tony, I know you have your DVR set.
Dude, the funniest preview show I've ever seen in my life. It's unbelievably ridiculous how people try to go and fit through these holes that are in this wall. It's just like this over here. I don't know, you see the shape here, and then you try to you put your leg up or something like this and try to fit through it. It's tough to do, man. It's not easy. Hole in the wall. Check it out on Fox.
And if you don't make it through, you might get wet.
Yeah, that's the bad part. And some of those guys were getting punked last night too when they weren't going through.
Yeah, they were big guys. They got to make bigger holes for the bigger guys.
I know.
That's discriminating.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're challenging the flexibility of certain people too. There's not, I think we just got done watching the Beijing Olympics. I think a lot of people think that we're all nasty Alukin.
Moose, I think me and you should challenge somebody. What do you think? Joe Buck and Troy Aikman?
We'll give it a go.
Against us? We got him.
That looked like an easy hole to get through. Under a minute to go as Tony gives it one more try. Eagles with over 500 yards of offense. Time permitting, we will send you to an NFC South battle between the Saints and the Buccaneers. Donovan McNabb, 3 touchdown passes in the first half. Eagles, for the first time since 1960, 300-yard receivers in the same game. Deshaun Jackson, Greg Lewis, and Hank Baskett. So Donovan McNabb and the Eagles off to a tremendous start here at home, defeating the St. Louis Rams by the score of 38-3. The rookie Deshaun Jackson with a terrific NFL debut. Eagles with their largest margin of victory ever in a season-opening game. Eagles will head to Dallas for a Monday night matchup next week. Rams back to the drawing board as they get ready to host the defending Super Bowl champion New York Giants. Hank Baskett 90-yard touchdown. One of 3 Eagle receivers to go over 100 for the day. So the Eagles win it 38-3 for Moose and Goose. This is Kenny Albert as we send you to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles.